Good morning, kids and families of the heart. I am about to lead you through a moving prayer again, and this was kind of inspired by asking the question, is it okay that I miss going to the high school to worship with you guys? My son, the other day when we were doing church, he's only 3, but Rowan remembered that we used to go to the high school. We were wondering if he had forgotten all about it, and he missed it. So I tried to interview Rowan about that. It didn't really go very well. But trust me, he misses church, just like many of you kids do. And you know what? There's a psalm about wanting to spend time in a church building. So I'm going to guide you through this prayer, Psalm 84, and it'll be another one of these moving prayers. I'll talk about that in just a second. I hope you guys enjoy, and I hope you enjoy learning to pray from the Psalms, learning to pray with our imagination, learning to even pray with our body posture. So I hope this is helpful. I am thrilled to join you, and I want to guide you through another one of these so-called movement prayers. Kids, did you know that you don't have to pray like this? That you could pray like this, or this, or even like this? Yeah, that's right. The Bible talks about people dancing and shouting and being quiet. The Bible talks about people falling flat on their face. So there's all different kinds of ways to pray. So that's what we're going to try this morning. We're going to try to pray using movement to help imagine what the psalmists are imagining. The Psalms are filled with pictures that help us understand our relationship with God. I'm going to invite you on this poetic prayer, Psalm 84, using movement. If you're on the couch, let's stand. In the Church of Christ, where I spent some time in my teens and early 20s, there was this move that the song leader did to get people out of the pews. So I'm going to do that. All right, so let me read Psalm 84, and I'm going to comment along the way to help us picture what this prayer is about. How lovely is your dwelling place, O Lord Almighty. My soul yearns, even faints, for the courts of the Lord. My heart and my flesh cry out for the living God. So what are the sons of Korah who wrote this talking about here? They're talking about God's temple, God's house. And for these guys, this was a literal building that they would walk into. And so the psalmist is saying, I want to go to church. I love the church building. And guys, we can relate a little bit to that. Don't you yearn and long to be back together in our space of worship? Even the sparrow has found a home, and the swallow a nest for herself, where she may have her young, a place near your altar. O Lord Almighty, my King and my God, blessed are those who dwell in your house. They are ever praising you. Wow. Okay, so you guys ever been to Lowe's and you're like, wait, was that a bird? And all of a sudden you realize there's a bird in Lowe's. You know what I'm talking about? Imagine liking Lowe's so much that you're a bit jealous of this bird that gets to be there in the smell of sawdust and power tools. That bird is near something that is important to you all the time. That's how this guy feels. This psalmist is a little bit jealous of the bird that gets to spend more time in the church building than he does. Can we relate to that a little bit right now? So if you don't mind, we'll begin our movements. If you could pretend to be a house like God's house. And you can do this seated. Pretend to be a house. And you want to be in the house with God. But here's the thing, guys. In the New Testament, we are told we are God's house. Can you believe that? So if you just sit quietly and think for a second and remind yourself this, that you don't have to yearn and ache to be in God's house, because you are God's house. So don't be jealous of the birds that get to live there, because you are there. Okay, so let's pretend to be a bird real quick. What's your favorite bird? I'd love to. Oh, buddy. So can you picture your favorite bird? Is your favorite bird like a little bird, or is it a big bird? Is it a condor or an albatross? Just for fun, imagine yourself as your favorite bird, flying up to be close to the altar of God. Blessed are those whose strength is in you, who have set their hearts on pilgrimage. As they pass through the valley of Baca, they make it a place of springs. The autumn rains also cover it with pools. They go from strength to strength till each appears before God in Zion. Okay, that sounds a little weird, but here's this word pilgrimage. You guys probably think of pilgrims, don't you? Well, there's all kinds of pilgrims, and people in Bible times used to make pilgrimages to the temple in Jerusalem that we just talked about. So if you lived far away from Jerusalem and you wanted to take a sacrifice to God and you wanted to go to the church building together, you would make a pilgrimage. And this could take days or weeks to get there. So for some people in Israel, they kind of went to church like 3 times a year. I don't know anybody who does that. Easter, Mother's Day, Christmas. They would make these pilgrimages, right? And they would, so if you guys want to walk in this moving prayer, if you want to walk, just imagine that you're walking and walking and you're bringing your family and your food and your sacrifices and you're getting ready to worship, and you've got a long time to get there. In fact, there's this whole playlist in the Psalms called the Songs of Ascent, and it would be the songs that they sing on the way there. Just imagine walking for miles and miles and miles just to go to church. And maybe you only get to do this 3 times a year, right? So this guy's saying, blessed are those people. It's a blessing to go and worship with God. So let's go and worship, guys. Let's make this pilgrimage. Now here's the thing I want to talk about real quick, is that the pilgrimage for us today, yes, we probably get in our cars and drive to our place of worship, or at least we did prior to March of this year. Now your pilgrimage might be something like, oh, and you roll out of bed, right? You're sitting on the couch and like waiting, like, Mom, can I go out and play? And Mom's like, we're gonna do church this morning. And here you are, captive in front of the TV or the computer. So guys, we have to reimagine this pilgrimage for us a little bit. And like I said, we are God's dwelling place. So maybe we could think of this pilgrimage, if you guys wanna walk again, walk in place, as a pilgrimage that happens in here. What are you doing in your heart to journey, to set out, to walk, to make a pilgrimage to God in your heart? Oh, and by the way, the imagery of this valley of Baca, I know that sounds weird. There's a couple of translations for that. Sorry, I'm gonna nerd out for a second. But it could mean the valley of weeping. And that word also can refer to the weeping of trees. So sometimes it's translated as balsams. And there's a beautiful stand of balsams in a place called Black Balsam Ridge in Pisgah. But I couldn't make the trip there because it's like a 3-hour drive from here. Let me show you a picture. So it could be referring to balsam. So I picked the weepy, sappy pine stand I could find. So enjoy the imagery of pilgrimage. These guys would pass all kinds of stuff on their way to Jerusalem. And this psalmist is saying, blessed are those who make this journey. Look upon our shield, O God. Look with favor on your anointed one. Can you make a shield? Like, grab your shield. Do you know God is like our shield? He protects us. Better is one day in your courts than 1,000 elsewhere. I would rather be a doorkeeper in the house of my God than dwell in the tents of the wicked. So can we be a doorkeeper? Can you guys imagine a door in front of you? All right, can you stretch with me? A door. And I would rather stand outside that door and let people in and not actually go inside. So can you let someone in? Than to dwell in the tents of the wicked. What a beautiful sentiment. For the Lord God is a sun. Can you guys, if you have them, go get them. I didn't bring mine this morning, but would you put on sunglasses? The sun lights up everything, and it gives life to the trees, and it heats up the earth. God is like a sun, bringing life in strength and power. So beautiful, we can't really even look at him. And shield, so back to the shield. God is like our shield. Imagine a shield in front of you. Can anything hurt you when you've got God as your shield? Shield. The Lord bestows favor and honor. No good thing does he withhold from those whose walk is blameless. Let's make that pilgrimage again. O Lord Almighty, blessed is the man that trusts in you. So I want to close with a couple of thoughts. The Psalms are rich with imagery that teach us how to pray. If you've ever felt sad, did you know there's Psalms that help guide you to God in that? If you've ever felt happy, did you know there's Psalms that guide you to God in that? If you've ever felt like you're missing your worship place, there are Psalms in the Bible to help guide you through that. And guys, I do want to remind you that though we ache and yearn to be back together in what we could think of as the building where God's people assemble and where God is worshiped, in a way, guys, we actually are that building, and that's happening right now. So if you miss your church friends, give them a call. That's like visiting God's house. Don't be jealous of the sparrow that gets to live there, even though I think that's a beautiful sentiment. But remember that God is actually already with you. I hope you've enjoyed this moving prayer. Kids, I want to encourage you, if you miss church, if you miss goofing off with your friends in the common area, if you miss kids ministry and the handful of times you've ever had snacks, you miss all the playing in the gym, the singing together, and the big loud room full of voices, we miss it too. But I think one of the things this psalm and through this moving prayer that we can cling to is that yearning for God is what we're actually doing, and we can pilgrimage there in our hearts. If you're trying to journey towards God, He's gonna bless you. That's what this psalm is about. So journey toward God, yearn for Him, and realize that in so many ways He's already with you. You're already in the house of God. I have another announcement for you guys related to kids. So kids, check this out. We have a vacation Bible school coming up, also known as a VBS. That's one that everybody can spell. Hello kids and families of the heart. I'm very excited to present to you Escaping Egypt, a digital VBS adventure. Part of our kids ministry team and I have been working on putting together something for you guys to go on a journey from your couch, from your home. From the couch. The stuff on the screen will come off the screen. There are activities, there are dances. So guys, I'm inviting you to join Adventure Alley as she takes you through a unique tour of the story of the Exodus, how God prepares, how God hears, how God acts, how God provides, and how He ultimately delivers. So kids and families of the heart, would you join us on this incredible adventure? Everything you need to make an interactive VBS experience from your own couch. I hope that trailer got you excited. So parents, if you want to visit theheart.us/VBS, just register. We're going to give you part of the supplies. Part of the supplies you'll probably have at home or add to your grocery list. There's an activity packet that has all the instructions you need for this VBS. And it's broken up into 5 days. And the videos are anywhere from 10 to 15 minutes long. They lead you through some songs. They lead you through some activities that you can actually pause the video, go do the activity, and let the VBS come off the screen. So parents, we put this together to help equip you to engage the story of the Exodus as a family project this summer while you're still at home more, while vacation plans are a little rocky, and we hope this is encouraging to you. And parents, if you're like, wait a minute, I'm out of town that week, or we got to go somewhere, we got something going on, the VBS can be done at any time. It will be permanently hosted on that website. So don't feel the pressure if next week is busy and you can't register by Tuesday and you're going to have to do it the following week or even the week after, or even save it for the middle of the winter when there's nothing to do. It's going to be there for you. It's very simple. The supplies are cheap. Feel free to do that anytime. I hope it's a simple way to help your family reflect on the story of God at home during this strange season. And it's a joy to be a part of your family in Christ. Godspeed.